Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Shalia. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about the ancient vacuum. And honestly, if you have the mist, this thing is going to be your best friend and will change your life. Let's take a deeper look at how this thing works. We've got three versions. We've got the basic, which is level 1. We've got the regular, which is level 2. And we've got the advanced vacuum, which is level 3. And depending on what you want to collect, they each can be very useful to you. We're going to start with the basic or level 1 ancient vacuum and move up from there. The basic ancient vacuum can only collect ephemerals, which are things you can remove, which are basically just night thorns in your regular valley or splinters of fate in the expansion A Rift in Time. For this tutorial, we're going to focus only on our main valley, but the machines work the same way in either place, either on Eternity Isle or in your main valley. Currently, you can see I have no night thorns in the Sunlit Plateau because that's where we are right now. So the basic vacuum is really doing me no good here. Let's move this to a biome where night thorns have spawned overnight, and it looks like Dazzle Beach is our winner. I am going to set this down here and then head on down there and see what we've got. And as you can see, there are a bunch of night thorns right here. And if we interact with the vacuum, you'll see there are a total of 16 night thorns that we can collect. Now, something to keep in mind as we go through these is that the vacuums will not collect anything unless you tell them to. And everything you have it collect will cost 10 mist per each item. So to collect these 16 night thorns, it's going to cost 160 mist. And because it will not collect the items until I say to do so by selecting and then collecting them, this makes them even better to work with. So basically, it costs you nothing to have one except for the cost to make it. You can also move these vacuums to wherever you want whenever you need them. So you can basically make one of each level vacuum. You're going to need to, because in order to get the advanced vacuum, you have to make one of each of the two previous. I'd still recommend only making one advanced vacuum, and you will understand totally why when we get to that section. So back to the basic vacuum. If you decide to use the vacuum to collect the night thorns here, you can actually select all 16 of them or choose a different amount. You do not have to collect all 16 with the vacuum. It goes with any items that the vacuums can collect. You do not have to collect everything. You can choose how many of each you want. If you don't want any, you don't even have to choose them. So if you don't have a lot of mist saved up, or you just don't want to use the machine, you could go collect some on your own, and then if they spawn in a hard to reach location, you can go back and tell the vacuum to collect basically what's left. And I love that this process isn't automatic. It still saves time and helps us get those night thorns that have spawned behind that one building that makes it impossible to interact with, but also gives us a choice to use it or not. And I absolutely love choices. How about you? For this video, I'm going to go ahead and collect all 16 of these and spend that 160 mist to collect them, just to show you how this works. And the important thing to remember with all of the vacuums is that when you collect the night thorns, because they all will collect night thorns, you will only receive the base star coins. You will not have an opportunity to collect the extra through the little mini game. However, you will still receive any materials, memories, seeds, and the base coins that would normally fly out of the night thorns as you remove them. You can also complete duties, which I love that they included that feature. If you need star coins, you can always go around removing night thorns until you find the one that spits out extra. And then after collecting them, you can go back to your vacuum and clean up the rest if you want to. This process will ensure you get the most star coins that you can while removing the night thorns. And before we move on to the level 2 or regular vacuum, I want to give you a real quick tip to make this process smoother. If your backpack is full, the items will land on the ground. You will still get the items, but they're going to land on the ground. However, I recommend having an empty backpack or leaving a row available for collecting materials through the vacuum. So be very aware what's in your backpack before you start collecting with these vacuums. Now, the level 2 or regular ancient vacuum can also collect the ephemerals, which night thorns and splinters of fate, basically your removable items. In addition to wild crops, which are garlic, vanilla, ginger, basil, mint, and oregano, and flowers. And they will each cost you 10 mist each, of course. Here you can be real selective as to what you have the vacuum collect. For instance, I only want the vacuum to collect the vanilla from this biome. Since I have my flowers strategically placed here and in most of my biomes, I'm just going to ignore those. But if you're just gathering everything for storage, you can just go ahead and collect whatever is in there if you can afford it. Remember, each individual item is 10 mist each to collect. Now, the regular vacuum will collect any extra wild crops that your helper gives you as well, as long as you don't pick them up. So let's say you were gathering vanilla and your helper was gathering them also, and you either ran out of space in your backpack or you just didn't feel like picking those up at that moment in time. They will basically just lay there on the ground until you come back with an empty backpack or until you feel like picking them up. And if you're a little lazy like me, or if they fell in a hard to reach area, you can just go back to the vacuum and have it collect everything that was laying on the ground for 10 mist each, of course. And I really really love that the Vax can do this because I have way too many things around my valley and I can't always see where items land or get to them because they're stuck where I can't go. Now, instead of moving items in furniture mode to move items so I can reach them, I can just have the vacuum suck it up. This is definitely my favorite use for the advanced or level 3 vacuum. And speaking of the advanced ancient vacuum, here it is. It can do everything our predecessors can do, plus it will collect any and all items that can be picked up. This is going to include all wood on the ground, any fruits that you've dropped, any materials you've knocked out of rocks or dug up from the ground and left laying on the ground, and includes anything at all that you drop from your backpack like cooked meals. Basically anything that you can pick up from the ground can be collected through the advanced vacuum. Now, although it cannot collect anything from unbroken rocks, bones, mushrooms, or trees and bushes, it's still nice to know that if you don't pick any of these items up and leave them laying on the ground, you can have the advanced vacuum pick them up for you later at a cost, of course. So now I'll bet you're wondering, if I have any cooked items or materials on a table, will the ancient vacuum pick those up as well? The answer is no. The items that can be picked up are completely safe on a table. In fact, you can place them on any surface and they'll be safe as long as you don't place or drop them on the actual ground. And just to show you, I'm going to pull 10 of these berry salads out of my backpack and I'm going to place 5 on the table and I'm going to place 5 on the ground. When I go back to the vacuum, you can see there are only 5 showing that I can collect, which are the 5 that are on the ground. Now let me pick those up off the ground and then go back to the vacuum, and you can now see that there are none showing to be collected, and you can see that the fruit is still on the table. So if you drop things from your backpack and then place them on a surface, they will be completely safe from the vacuum there. Now I have a couple things that I think are very important to share. The advanced vacuum can pick up the blue marshmallows on the ground, which is part of the current end of summer event. And you know what that means? Come Easter, we're going to be able to pick up the eggs on the ground with it too. And I'm very excited about that because I can't tell you, this advanced vacuum has totally changed how I look at this current event. And if you want to see how I've done that, I'll link that video up in the corner for you. And also, something I discovered by accident is if you have a friend over to your valley, we all know we can collect pixel shards from that, and we can collect them in their valley or in our own valley, and both players can see their own pixel shards. What I found out was that pixel shards will still be available after your friend leaves and you close the portal. So at this time, you can now move your advanced ancient vacuum around to different biomes and collect any pixel shards that were left behind on the ground. Now, I only had one after I played with my one friend. I'm not sure how long they stay around after a visit, and it could have been a glitch, so I'd recommend checking right away as soon as your friend leaves and you close your portal. Now, another thing to note, since it's getting close to fall and Halloween, you may have random pumpkins and other veggies that you're using as decor around your valley. If these are on the table, you're fine. If these items are on the ground, they can also be picked up by that advanced ancient vacuum. So be very careful what you pick up when having the vacuum pick items up for you. So who's going to get out there and make a vacuum? How many of you have already made one and used one? If you do, which one do you use the most and what do you use it for? I'd love to know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, please check out that next one, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. Also, I do have memberships available if you are interested in supporting me that way. No pressure though, just having each and every one of you support me by watching my videos is truly enough, and I appreciate you all. Well, friends, have a great week, and until next time, bye!